Hi, I'm John Hattie, and I've spent over 25 years researching the influences that have the greatest possible effects on your child's learning.
Hi, I'm Kyle Hattie, and I've been a teacher for over 10 years and a father of 2 children. Together we have written a new book, 10 Steps to Develop Great Learners, that explains how parents can apply the research findings to support and promote their children's learning. My parents often tell the same story about when I was younger and my climbing over the stair rails on the 3rd floor of a motel where we were staying. I was aiming to climb around the outside all the way around, and at the age of 5, was so confident in success. Dad saw it and quietly came over, and when with the right position, grabbed me and pulled me back over the right side. Since then, this story has been embellished 600 times. It goes from the 3rd floor to the 10th floor.
What was the 10th?
I was holding on with one hand. And it was used against me. Used to show me as resilient and the start of my later climbing adventures. Parents often retell stories, usually admitting pretty crucial details. And the message is the same. Ain't parenting great? Now that I'm a dad of 2 beautiful girls, Emma and Danielle, I know it's not always a bed of roses. I have always watched and obviously experienced my own dad. And ever since I've known him, he's been dedicated not only to me and my 2 brothers, but his work, which he loves doing a lot. The visible learning work seems to be everywhere. I'm now a 10-year teacher and most aware of his influences. When I first became a dad, we talked a lot about evidence of parenting. Although he wanted to tell me the anecdotes about me and us as boys. I asked, surely there could be similar evidence based out for parenting as there is about schools. And Dad loves the challenge, so we started collecting the evidence about parenting.
It took us 6 years?
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years of reading, of writing, of arguing, and kept asking, who was the audience for the book? And we saw 2. Firstly, parents, hence it had to be written in an accessible language. But also school leaders and teachers who want their parents to understand what it means in a modern school that focuses on learning. But any visit to a bookstore shows that there are already shelves groaning with books on parenting. So we aimed for a unique part of that. Not only is this book based on a meta-analysis, a synthesis of a large number of studies on parenting, which we relegated to the appendix, but also because it's focused on how parents think, or should think, about their roles as parents. The way we write about this thinking is via talking about 10 mind frames for parents. The book is structured around these 10 major mind frames. They focus on how we think as being a parent, as it's this thinking, the decisions, and the interpretations that we make about our children that matter the most. 2 parents can do exactly the same thing, but the intention, the thinking, and the mind frame behind what they ask the students to do is what matters most and what makes the difference. Clarity between what we think and what we do can be a major source of friction in families, particularly for children who may not be as adept at understanding and interpreting what we mean. As I said to my sons many times, do what I mean, not what necessarily what I say. Perhaps that was cruel and unusual punishment. 10 Steps to Develop Great Learners deliberately has a focus on learning. It's not about naughty kids, not about how to discipline. And it's from all ages, from birth to the end of teenagers. And you can see the 10 mind frames. Babies are born into a world of your expectations. And these expectations become even more critical throughout their childhood years. How then to develop expectations that align with the Goldilocks principle? Not too hard, not too easy, and not too boring. How to be responsive, to be a great listener, and make reasonable demands. But if your child thinks you're not responsive, you're not a great listener, and you're not reasonable, then the struggles truly begin. and can become extremely frustrating. As Carol Dweck showed, how parents respond to a child's errors and mistakes at age 3 is a pretty good predictor of their later learning lives. Do you allow them to learn to fail? As if they don't fail, then they will fail to learn. How they and you cope with errors is critical, and how you show your children that errors, mistakes and hiccups are opportunities to learn, and certainly not to be embarrassed about, not to be avoided, and not seen as negative. Our core notion is that parents need to continually evaluate their impact on children. This begs what we mean, and what you mean, and what your child means by impact, about your skills and your child's skills as an evaluator, and how you celebrate smelling the roses when this impact is maximised. A major theme is that parents are not first teachers, as this confuses your role as a parent with those of school teachers. COVID showed that many parents don't always have the patience and skills of becoming a teacher. Instead, we argue that parents are the child's first learner and are able to demonstrate openness to new ideas and thinking, and a relentless focus on how to learn, how to see errors as opportunities for learning, that being perfect is not as critical as learning from failure, talking the language of learning, and instilling the skills and thrills of learning with their children.
We hope you enjoy the 10 steps to develop great learners as much as we did living it and writing it.